Chapter 3: The Skeletal System and the Muscular System. New to know: the skeletal system, joints, muscular system. We know that human body is made up of cells. The cells that perform same function combine together to form tissues. The tissues that perform same function combine together to form an organ. A group of organs that work together and carry out function is called an organ system. Different organ systems perform different functions and together make up an organism. Wonder box. When you smile, you use 17 small muscles, so keep exercising those muscles. Muscles of our eyelid is the most active muscle of our body. It moves more than 1 million times a day. Add-ons. Among the 206 bones in our body, the feet contain 52 of them. The skeletal system. The framework of bones that gives shape, support, and strength to our body is called skeletal system. An adult human skeleton has 206 bones. Skeletal system protects our internal organs. It gives shape to our body. It allows us to move. Most of the blood cells are produced inside some bones. The skeletal system comprises of the skull, backbone, rib cage, and limbs. Skull. The skull protects the brain. It consists of 8 cranial and 14 facial bones. All the bones are fixed except lower jaw. We are able to talk and eat because of the movable lower jaw. Vertebrae, segments of the backbone. Backbone. The backbone forms the central axis of the skeleton. It is made up of 33 irregularly shaped bones called vertebrae. The spinal cord passes through the holes of the vertebrae and is thus protected. It helps us to bend and holds our body upright. The backbone is also known as spine. Rib cage. The 12 pairs of ribs in our body form a cage. They protect the heart and lungs. The ribs are attached to the backbone at the back and to the breastbone in the front. The last 2 pairs are called floating ribs as they are not attached to the breastbone. They are only attached to the backbone. Limbs. The human body has 2 pairs of limbs. The forelimbs, that is the arms, and the hind limbs, that is the legs. The thigh bone, known as femur, is the longest bone in the body. Joints. The places where 2 or more bones join together are called joints. The bones are held together at the joints by strong tissues called ligaments. Our body has many joints. All joints except those in the skull can move. The joints in the skull are called immovable and others are called movable. Joints, the places where 2 or more bones join together. Ligaments, the bones that are held together at the joints by strong tissues. The different movable joints are ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, and gliding joint. Ball and socket joint. In this joint, the ball-like end of one bone fits into a cup-like cavity or socket of the other bone. It allows movement in all directions. The hip and shoulder joints are examples of this type of joint. Hinge joint. This type of joint allows movement in one direction only, similar to the hinges of a door. The hinge joints are present in our elbows, fingers, knees, and toes. Add-ons. Our bones contain iron, phosphorus, fluorine, chlorine, and calcium. Our body has phosphorus to make 200 matchsticks heads and enough iron to make a 5 cm long nail. Pivot joint. In this joint, the rounded surface of one bone fits into a ring formed by the other bone. Pivot joint allows rotation only. This type of joint is found between the skull and the backbone. Gliding joint. This joint allows the bones to glide over each other. Our wrist and ankle have gliding joint. Tendons, muscles that are attached to the bones by tissues. Muscular system. Muscles. Muscles help in movement. There are more than 600 muscles in our body. Muscles are attached to the bones by tissues called tendons. Our muscular system has 3 different types of muscles. Voluntary muscles, they are under our control. Muscles in our arms and legs are examples of voluntary muscles. Involuntary muscles. Some muscles are not under our control. They work on their own. They are called involuntary muscles. Muscles in our stomach and intestines are involuntary muscles. Cardiac muscles. These muscles are found in the walls of heart. They are not under our control. They make our heart to beat. The cardiac muscles work throughout our life and never get tired. Add-ons. On an average, approximately 40% of our body weight is in muscles. Voluntary muscles are muscles under our control. Involuntary muscles are muscles that are not under our control. Final learnings. The human body is made up of cells. The framework of bones that gives shape, support and strength to our body is called skeletal system. The places where two or more bones join together are called joints. Ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint and gliding joint are movable joints. Voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles and cardiac muscles are three types of muscles.